Good day, everyone. Ali Safi here, Safi Financial Network, February 27, 2025. Another daily analysis. What's the ugly sell-off today? So market just going down all the way to 58.68 for S&P 500. SPY, which is S&P 500 ETF, traded 73 million today, which is above average. The average is 47 million. But today, SPY just traded 73 million, which means sharp sell-off actually is going down. Lots of people liquidated their account and they're just getting out of the trades. Lots of stop losses heated today, especially last hour of the trading session. The selling pressure was strong. S&P 500 got into, I believe, it got into 5%, 4.5 to 5% corrective move since this top on February 19. So February 19 was kind of like the top of the market. And this is very, very interesting because if you go back all the way to 2000, let's say 2020, when it was COVID crash, and we had the same president in White House, which is Donald Trump. So we got February 19. This is 2020, February 19. And then after that, we got into sharp sell-off all the way to the downtown. And here is the March 23rd, which is the moment of equinox. And you know that the spring solstice is happening over there. And we just got the bottom here. Is it going to be the same scenario? No, I don't think. There is no reason for that crash to the market. And there is no reason for that actually correction or even kind of like a sell-off to the market. But right now, market is just forming the same symmetry, I would say, not the same scale, the same symmetry in 2020. So if we go like again, February 19, 2025, after 5 years, we are kind of like repeating the same scenario. We got the energy from that day, so 5 year cycle, pushing the market down. We may see some kind of like again continuation sell-off for tomorrow. And tomorrow is going to be very, very important day, folks. Just not because it is Friday, it's going to be weekly close as well. And if we go to weekly chart, I'm going to show you weekly chart in a moment. So we are just forming a bear reversal to the downside, and this is signaling to the downside. We are just slicing through SMA 20 today to the downside. This means it's going to pave its way for more decline to 50, even 643. So which is going to be top of this candle. Even if we go like here, that's going to be 56.76. So I would say a market can form another potential sell-off. And even if we go to that sell-off, we are still within this long-term bull market. So this long-term bull market can go all the way down to 5,500, which is going to be 380 points downside. And that's going to be very ugly for lots of people. We are just getting into 10 to 15% correction. But I would say that's very healthy, and we are kind of like forecasting that one at the beginning of this year. If you haven't watched my forecast for 2025, make sure watch the video. I'm gonna put the link up there, so make sure watch that one. But I'm not expecting this starts right now. I would expect actually this one is starting mid this year. So we're gonna see kind of like a 20% correction to the downside with a sharp snap back to the upside. So right now, market is just forming its bearish momentum. NVDA earning cannot help the market. Actually, the stock just slaughtered today. We will get to that one in a bit. But 5,800 based on the short term, I would say this short term goes back all the way to October 2023. So this is the trend line and hit August 2024. And it has a very nice symmetry though. So this trend line for the third touch, it can help the market. But at the same time, the third touch, don't get fooled with this, folks. So the third touch could be kind of like a tricky because lots of people are just buying. And as long as it peers through or even a close below that, they're going to just say, hey, this trend line fails. And we're going to go all the way down to here. I would say no. Usually we have a Pinocchio bar rule, which is going to be the third touch is going to be tricky. So if this is your trend line, the third touch is going to just go down, make everyone sellers, stop loss for all the long position triggered and then getting back to the upside. So this happens a lot. So make sure just pay attention to this. If you see even a fail out for a holding trend line, it's not a failure. It's going to be potential bear trap for lots of people. I would say that lots of kind of like a buyers are coming back here, even around 5667 to 5700, which is going to be almost a 180 above the current level. So if we expect market is going to go down another 180 points to the downside, don't be surprised. But still, we are within this bullish trend line. So I know the short term, actually, just the people are panicking, but we should just be calm and we should just watch the chart. When days are moving forward, we should just have a strategy. Even if it fails, we should have a strategy. So this is kind of like a bullish scenario. But if we have a bearish scenario, we should have a strategy for that one. We should rebalance our portfolio to have a diversified portfolio. If you're just heavy loaded on tech, you are suffered today a lot, even more than Nasdaq, you're suffered. But if you're like me, just we had like a 1.5%, our portfolio went down today, but we are kind of like beating the S&P 500 today with a downside. Nasdaq just went down 3.13% to the downside, but we kind of like cutting our kind of like a loss for today based on the diversification. We went down 1.5 myself on subscribers, but again, it's not a big deal. This is part of the game. You shouldn't expect market is going all the way up to the upside with a straight line every single day. We have a corrective move. And remember, if you were not in the market, I was there. We were trading this downside move. We were expecting this with a put option, and we made money a lot while we had a lot of long positions and deploying back to the long position. And look what happened. Market hit the all-time high. So this is kind of like Bank of Japan interest rate shock to the market. And in that day, market just had a very tough time in August. But after that, you look at this. In August, the rest of the August and also September, we got into new all-time high, which is very rare for the market. So all I want to say is just be careful, just be cautious. 2025 is not going to be easier. Even 26, 27 is going to be easier as well. But we need to be prudent and we need to diversify it. In every single scenario, we should have a strategy. Right now, the next target is going to be just hitting this trend line 57 to 5800, low 5800. But we'll see if it holds, if it shows us a reversal, if it shows like a reversal in many individual names, we're going to just deploy more just because market is going to go up. But if it doesn't hold up, we are going to just keep our portfolio diversified as is, and we are just waiting for a better kind of like a rebalancing positions down the road. Well, we'll see how it goes. Moving on to Nasdaq, which was ugly session for Nasdaq today. We just went down 3%. Stochastic momentum just got into oversold condition completely. And we are kind of like forming a double bottom formation here, even if we are pricing lower than this. Right now, we just got into this important, I would say, pivotal point, because this pivotal point triggered new all-time high at that time. So this is the pivotal point, trigger new all-time at that time, but we obviously missed that one. So we are kind of like forming a lower, the first low here. If we get back to the upside, let's say we get back to the upside and form a lower high, and then getting back to the downside, we are going to form the lower low. That would be kind of like the bearish structure forming for the Nasdaq at the top. So we don't get that B pattern yet. So we are waiting for this one to see how it's going to act. I would say market is very, very possible scenario that market is getting back to the upside, snap back sharply to the upside, but that would be kind of like a trigger based on news or any fundamental news, or kind of like a move based news actually can move the market to the higher. Right now, we don't have that one. We are kind of like seeing the escalation of the trade war between US, China, between US, Europe, and also Canada, Mexico, everywhere. So right now we are seeing that the market is kind of like a concerning for the growth. Nasdaq going down to 20,000 area, 20,000 channel, right now 20,500. It can go lower to 2,000, 20,200, I would say. And that would be the possible scenario for a kind of like a rebound, just because this is going to be SMA 200 on a daily basis. And also it's getting back to this election pivot. This is very important. Donald Trump favorites actually are about a lot here. And this one can support the market. Otherwise, if it goes down, that would be kind of like interesting. Donald Trump, we have Donald Trump in admin and market is just going down for the first 2 months. And this happens, I remember the last period of Donald Trump market just shake out. But after settling everything, again, money flowing to the market and it went back to the upside nicely, new all-time high. Right now, again, keep an eye on 20,000 area. So this is kind of like the trend line for Nasdaq going all the way back down to January 2023. So for the 2 years, this trend line valid, and this is going to be the fourth touch. Look at here. The third touch, we piercing through, snap back up nicely. So let's see how it goes this time. Moving on to Dow, which hold up very well at the beginning early session. But look at that. So we got a shooting star. Some people are saying this is bearish consolidation. Yeah, true. It can happen. But I would say Dow, just you can't find a lot. This pattern fails to the upside. And I would say it is important to see what pattern forms at what level. So this is very, very important. This is a trend line. This goes back to this demand area. And also this shooting a star usually is a bullish sign when we are seeing at the bottom. Are we at the bottom? We don't know. When we have a green bar, we can see, yes, that was a bottom. So for example, for this is here. So you see the shooting a star, bear flag, everything looks ugly, but look what happened after that. Market just a snap back down, just a snap back to the upside, sharp rally, form bullish consolidation, and then boom, new all-time high. So if we see something like this, we need to see some green bar, very strong green bar forms here. Otherwise, if we breaking through, true, that's going to be a bearish momentum and it can go down. I would say based on the market overall, Dow hold up very well today. Energy market, banks, and healthcare actually manage very well today. So this means money is not out of the market. Money is just rotating from one sector to another. It's coming out from technology, going into heavy value names and down names. Gold, just corrective move, actually just going down. Crazy sell-off today. I believe 1.4% to the downside. That's crazy sell-off. And we were expecting this gold. We closed all our positions last 2 weeks in gold miners, and we are just having a small portion of silver, which we will get to that one. But I would say gold still can go down to 27.85, and that's the area that I'm looking at. This is kind of like the scenario that I'm looking at for gold, and we may see some kind of like a pullback still continuing to the downside. Silver, at the same time, just going down. I would say around $30 to $29. There are a lot of supports here. So we'll see. If silver goes down to $29 to $30, that's the area that I'm just looking at for accumulating more silver. If gold is getting to that trend and silver gets to that trend, I would say that's the area we need just to keep an eye on. Crude just snapping back up nicely today, but this is kind of like a lower high, lower low. So we don't know exactly if this is the bottom. Obviously, we are seeing a very nice divergence in MACD, also in a stochastic and RSI, but it doesn't show still the sign of the reversal. We need to see crude strongly get back above 74, pull back. Then we can see crude is just forming a bullish structure. Otherwise, it can just keep going down and down and down, something like this. Look at AMD chart. It's just channeling down, lots of divergences. Still, we don't see any sign of the reversal to the upside. It could be, but still we don't see that one yet. So crude, exactly the same pattern. We need to get above 74, otherwise still it is going down. Moving on to individual names, so starting with Bitcoin. Bitcoin just a very choppy day today. Actually, hold up not bad compared to the other names, Doji Bar. But I would say this is gonna be the last drop for Bitcoin, 72,000 to 77,000. That's the area for Bitcoin we can see. as a long-term investors, you can just get into that level. So we'll see how it goes. Ethereum just going down, I would say 1900 to 2100 can come up to the cycle, at least for the next 2-3 days. Ethereum can have that one. Bond yield just sharply going down. So this is interesting. When bond yield is down, treasury is down today. So this is kind of like recessionary signal, not for this year, potentially end of this year or early next year. We will see that the sign of the recession. Right now, bond yield is just going down, and it shows that Federal Reserve is gonna just drop the rate sooner or later. Treasury just hold up nicely today, $91. Bond just getting back to the upside, especially after hours. It just gained a bit again, and 91.51 after hours. VIX, it was kind of like a barely, I would say, flat the entire session until last hour. Last hour, VIX jumped 9% just because selling pressure continues in the stock market. VIX recaptured $20. I would say VIX can just spark higher to 27, 28. And that would be kind of like the sharp spike for VIX. Look at this. This is August bottom for the stock market. Look what happened to VIX, the biggest spike in the history of the stock market. DXY just nicely flapping up today, and this is just because of the liquidation. Lots of demand is just flowing into US dollar. The demand of US dollar is going up, so that just put a pressure on. Actually, that's a result of the pressure in the stock market. It doesn't put pressure just because look at copper, for example, it just managed very well today. Apple just going down, getting into 237. Keep an eye on this Folks level. This is very important because if this one goes down, I would say these movement can take out these two pivots as well. There are lots of support around 220, but I would say Apple 200 is coming down the road potentially. Amazon, just a very ugly sell-off today. So 208, it doesn't have a kind of like a breakout, so it just back tests this area 218 today, and then getting back to the downside. Crazy sell-off today for Amazon. Meta, the same pattern here, just gapped up, but cannot manage positive, going all the way down. 658, we may see another sell-off potentially to 600 for Meta. Microsoft, the same pattern here. I have like calculated the level. So the level that I have, at least for the next stage, is going to be 362 to 384. And that is kind of like this demand area. This is going to be very, very important demand area. Moving on to Google. Google is down. I would say 140 is coming down the road if it goes like this. It's kind of like a signaling a very sharp sell-off in big techies. And they don't see, actually, I don't see any reversal. They don't seem like a reversal is coming soon, but we'll see how it goes. Netflix just slapping down today as well, 963. Tesla is just slicing down this channel to the downside. Capitulation is coming for Tesla, and we may see 269 is coming for Tesla down the road. Moving on to SMH, which is semiconductor index, just going all the way down. Semis are getting back to this March 2024. Just imagine last year if you bought semis at this top. Right now, March 2025 is coming. After a year, lots of up and down, you don't go anywhere. So that's interesting, even for those ones who are just buying SMH just because they're saying semis are kind of like a very diversified sector here. So I'm not going to just invest in individual names. Look at that. So SMH actually doesn't go anywhere. SOX, the same pattern, just going down. Philadelphia index, even it goes down below March 2024. So if you have it, you are already negative after a year. Taiwan Semiconductor sliding down all the way to 182. That's crazy sell-off today. And we may see some kind of like a bounce tomorrow. This is no shadow actually at the top and at the bottom. So this is very, very crazy. This is a capitulation. It's forming. AMD, the same pattern here. AMD goes down $99. So AMD just got below 100, and that is kind of like capitulation is coming for AMD. This one can go down all the way to 90 to 97 for a significant bottom there. So we'll see how it goes. NVIDIA, what a sell-off today for NVIDIA. 120 for NVIDIA, crazy sell-off today. It's just going all the way down, still above this February bottom here. But look at the candle here. This is ugly, 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 ugly. Just gapped up positive 135, but the entire session is just going all the way down here. This is crazy, folks. And I don't know how can I slice it and dice it, but if it goes down below this pivot, I would say NVIDIA is triggering sell-off to $76 even, 76 to 87. So that is a very possible scenario for NVIDIA if it goes below February pivot, which is 112. Moving on to Texas Instrument. After hours jump up just because this one is going down because of the industry sentiment. So we'll see how it goes, but this is very bad day for semiconductors. Lam Research just is sliding all the way down to $76. I don't know what's happening to Lam Research. NVIDIA just had the earning, not Lam Research, but but market sold off sharply, all semiconductors actually. So there are pretty valuable names, I would say, there are lots of tentative levels. XLF financials holding up nicely today. The pattern actually is very good based on the today's price action for the market. That's why Dow actually hold up positive. KBE forming another tweezer doji bar here. I would say this is kind of like the bearish momentum here. KRE, the same pattern here. JP Morgan just a slightly positive today, and even after hours going back up a little bit. Goldman Sachs are going down today, cannot manage positive today. Bank of America, bearish consolidation here is forming. And Wells Fargo just going down today as well, 76 down. So we'll see how it goes. But all in all, I should say bank actually formed very well today. GDX, gold miners just going down. I would say after yesterday, kind of like a snapback, I thought that the correction is over, but seems like gold just put pressure on lots of miners today. GDXJ juniors actually went down. Pretty kind of like an ugly sell-off today as well. Gap down and then continuing to the downside. AEM still forming a bull flag, folks. I know this is a sell-off today candle, but still forming a bull flag. Newmont just going down, continuing to the downside. Gold Barrick going down $17.79 close today. After hours, just gain a 1 cent. XLE, which is Energy Spider, forming a doji bar. Hold up, not bad today, holding up pretty well. So still not $89. If it goes below this pivotal point, this can just be a waterfall as well. Exxon just managed positive today. Crude stocks, actually energy stocks did well today compared to market. Chevron just going up. Seems like the deal for Venezuela actually doesn't impact this stock. So we'll see how it goes. All right, folks, I believe I covered everything. If you like this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel. Have a good month. See you on the chart. Bye-bye.